There is a cardinal sitting in your yard right now, maybe a chickadee, maybe a robin crossing the lawn. You have seen them 1,000 times. You know what they look like. But what is actually happening inside that bird, right now, in this moment, is something that would stop you mid-breath if you could see it. That cardinal is running 4 separate navigation systems simultaneously. It has over 2,000 individual feathers, each one structured at the microscopic level like a precision-engineered aerospace component. And last night, while you were asleep, it deliberately dropped its own body temperature by 22 degrees, on purpose, just to survive until morning. You have been looking at birds your whole life. You have never been able to see them. Tonight, that changes. Stay until the end. Because the last thing we cover happens directly above your house, tonight, on a scale most people never fully grasp. Welcome. If birds have ever made you stop and look, subscribe before you leave. What you are about to see happens in your yard every single day, completely invisible, and it will permanently change the way you watch them. You have probably picked one up off the sidewalk and ignored it. Zoom in 200 times and it becomes one of the most precisely engineered structures in nature. Every feather has a central shaft, the rachis. Hundreds of barbs branch off each side. Those barbs have their own branches, barbules, and those barbules carry microscopic hooks that lock everything together. The same mechanical principle as Velcro, built over 150 million years of evolution instead of a laboratory. When a feather gets ruffled, the bird relocks it manually, with its beak. That is what preening is. Not grooming, maintenance of a life support system, and one feather performs 3 completely separate jobs. Insulation, trapping a layer of warm air against the skin. Waterproofing, a duck can shake itself completely dry in under a second. And of course, flight. The cardinal in your yard has around 2,000 feathers. A tundra swan carries over 25,000, and every single one is replaced, on a precise internal schedule, at least once a year. A process called molting. A cardinal in mid-molt looks genuinely ridiculous, bald-headed, patchy. People think their bird is sick. It is not sick, it is renovating. Right now, tonight, millions of birds are navigating above your house in complete darkness. You cannot see them, you would not know they are there, but the scale of what they are doing is almost unbelievable. Take the blackpoll warbler. It weighs less than an AA battery. It migrates from the forests of Canada all the way to South America, and part of that journey crosses the Atlantic Ocean, non-stop, over open water for up to 88 hours straight. How does it know where to go? 4 navigation systems, running simultaneously, built into a brain the size of a walnut. The sun, it tracks position and angle to determine direction. The stars, young birds memorize the night sky before their first migration and identify true north from the rotation of star patterns. The Earth's magnetic field, birds have magnetite crystals embedded in their beaks, a biological compass so sensitive it detects field inclination, not just direction, and smell. Recent research shows some birds navigate by sniffing the chemical signature of the landscape below them, an olfactory map of the entire continent. If one system fails, the bird switches to another. If 2 fail, it still has 2 more. We have not yet been able to replicate any version of this artificially. What comes next is the part that happens while the bird appears to be doing absolutely nothing. Every night, the chickadee in your yard deliberately enters controlled hypothermia. A small songbird bleeds heat fast. At normal body temperature, around 107 degrees Fahrenheit, it would burn through its entire fat reserve in hours. So it does something remarkable. It lowers its own body temperature by up to 22 degrees. Its heart rate slows. Its metabolism drops to the absolute minimum needed to stay alive. It is not fully asleep in the way we understand sleep. It is closer to a controlled shutdown, and every morning it reboots, using tiny bursts of shivering to warm itself back up, and flies to your feeder like nothing happened. But there is an even stranger sleep strategy. It is called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. Prey birds, ducks, shorebirds, many others, sleep with half their brain at a time. One hemisphere rests. The other monitors the environment. One eye stays open. The bird is simultaneously asleep and on guard. A mallard sleeping at the edge of a flock will almost always orient its open eye outward, watching for predators, while the birds at the center of the group sleep with both eyes closed, covered by the outer bird's vigil. The birds in your yard right now are not simply sleeping. They are thermostats and surveillance systems running simultaneously in bodies that weigh less than 2 pennies. Every morning in your yard, a 30-minute performance begins before the sun rises. It is called the dawn chorus. Every bird singing at once, at the peak volume and complexity they will reach all day, then gradually quieting as the light brightens. Why dawn? Because in the still morning air, before heat creates turbulence, sound carries farther and more cleanly than at any other time of day. A bird singing at dawn is heard by twice as many potential mates and rivals as the same bird singing at noon. But birdsong is not one thing, it is a language with grammar. A robin's alarm call, sharp, high-pitched, hard to locate, is designed for danger, not territory. A wood thrush's territorial song is engineered to carry a quarter mile through dense forest. And a chickadee's DDDE call actually encodes threat level in the number of D notes at the end. More Ds means bigger predator. And birds learn. Young birds spend weeks listening before they sing a single note. The song a bird sings is not pure instinct. It is culture, passed down through generations in the same way language is passed between people. In Japan, crows learn to use traffic intersections as nutcrackers. They drop hard-shelled nuts in front of waiting cars, wait for the vehicles to do the work, then collect the pieces when the light stops traffic. They passed this technique to their offspring. It spread between crow populations across the country. This is not instinct. This is problem-solving, cultural transmission, and tool use adapted to a human environment the species encountered less than a century ago. For a long time, scientists believed that because birds lack the cortex, the structure responsible for complex cognition in mammals, they were cognitively simple. They were wrong. Birds evolved a completely different structure called the pallium, which performs equivalent functions through different architecture. The crow's pallium, relative to its brain size, is as developed as a chimpanzee's cortex. Scrub jays plan for the future. They hide food caches, then re-hide them if they noticed another bird watching, because they understand what it means to have a witness. New Caledonian crows manufacture tools from raw materials and pass their designs to the next generation. And the bird watching you from your fence right now? Research confirms that crows recognize individual human faces and remember them for years, distinguishing people who have threatened them from people who have not, and adjusting their behavior accordingly. The bird is watching you back. You have walked past birds your entire life. Now you know what you were walking past. The cardinal in your yard is maintaining 2,000 precision-engineered structures, running 4 navigation systems, managing its own body temperature every single night, reading your face, watching you. It has been doing this every day, right in front of you, the whole time. Tell me in the comments, what surprised you most? I read every single one. And if this changed the way you see the birds in your yard, subscribe, there is a lot more to see.